The morning began with a steady drizzle, the kind that made the city seem dreary and gray. Alex Rodriguez, a window cleaner by trade, stood on the sidewalk, looking up at the high-rise building that would be his first job of the day. The rain pelted down, soaking his black jacket and forming tiny rivulets on the pavement. Each droplet that hit the ground echoed the persistent rhythm of the weather, creating a symphony of sound that blended with the distant hum of traffic. As he adjusted his cap, pulling it lower to shield his eyes from the rain, Alex couldn't help but think about the challenges that lay ahead. What drives a person to clean windows in the rain, he pondered silently. It wasn't the most glamorous job, but it was one he had grown to love. With every swipe of the squeegee, he felt a sense of accomplishment, not just in the sparkle of the glass, but in the clarity it brought to the world around him. He took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh scent of rain mingling with the faint aroma of asphalt and coffee from a nearby cafe. It was a smell he found oddly comforting, a reminder of the simple pleasures in life. He often reflected on the moments that made his job worthwhile, like the time he had cleaned the windows of a hospital and had seen the relief on the faces of families waiting for news about their loved ones. Those were the moments that kept him going, even in the pouring rain. With his gear in hand, a sturdy harness, a bucket of soapy water, and a squeegee, he made his way to the entrance of the building. The rain drummed on the pavement, but Alex felt a spark of determination. He had a job to do, and he was going to do it well. As he approached the first set of glass doors, he noticed a tiny girl standing inside, her face pressed against the glass, watching him with wide, curious eyes. "Hey there," he called out, giving her a cheerful wave. She smiled back, her excitement evident even through the glass. It reminded him of his own childhood dreams, the eagerness to explore the world. "What's your name?" he asked, hoping to keep her engaged while he worked. "Lucy," she shouted, her voice muffled by the thick glass that separated them. "Well, Lucy, I'm about to make these windows sparkle. You ready to see some magic?" He winked at her, and she giggled, nodding enthusiastically. It was moments like these that made the rain worth enduring. If he could bring a little joy to someone's day, then all the cold and wet would be worthwhile. As he started to set up his equipment, he couldn't shake the feeling of purpose that fueled him. Each window was a canvas, and he was the artist, painting with the tools of his trade. The rain might be pouring down, but it also provided a unique beauty to the city, washing away the dust and grime that accumulated over time. With every swipe of his squeegee, he would reveal the vibrant life behind the glass, people bustling about, the colors of the city coming alive. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Each story brings new adventures, and Alex's journey is just beginning. He positioned himself on the building's ledge, securing his harness as he prepared for the ascent. The rain was relentless, but he thrived in it. He took a moment to gather his thoughts, reminding himself why he loved this job. It was about more than just cleaning windows, it was about connection, about seeing the world from different perspectives. With a final glance at Lucy, who still watched in awe, he climbed up the ladder, feeling the cool mist of the rain against his face. The world around him transformed as he rose. The ground below seemed to fade away, replaced by a stunning view of the cityscape. The rain blurred the lines of the horizon, giving the buildings a soft, dreamy quality. It was as if the city was wrapped in a veil of mystery, and he was the one tasked with revealing its beauty. Once on the ledge, he pulled out his bucket of soapy water and dipped the squeegee in, feeling the familiar weight of the tool in his hand. He started with the first window, the glass foggy from the rain and the breath of the city. As he began to clean, he thought about the challenges he faced daily, not just the physical demands of his job, but the emotional aspect as well. Alex reflected on how window cleaning often felt like a metaphor for life. Just as he wiped away dirt and grime, so too did he strive to clear the obstacles in his own life. The rain, while inconvenient, was also a reminder that storms eventually pass, leaving clarity in their wake. He focused on the glass, the squeegee gliding smoothly as he worked, creating a streak-free shine that revealed the bustling world beyond. As he cleaned, he thought of the people he encountered each day: office workers, children, busy parents. Each window held a story, a glimpse into the lives of those inside. The interactions, however brief, filled him with a sense of belonging. It was a reminder that no matter how small his role might seem, he contributed to the larger tapestry of life in the city. The rhythm of the rain was comforting, and as he climbed higher, he felt invigorated. The weight of the world seemed to lift with each window he cleaned. He imagined the compliments he would receive when the residents saw their shiny glass, their smiles reflecting the brightening day. He couldn't help but grin at the thought. As he finished the first window, he stepped back to admire his work. The glass sparkled, reflecting the muted colors of the rainy day. It was a small victory, but one that filled him with pride. He moved on to the next window, the rain continuing to fall around him, a persistent reminder of nature's unpredictability. With every stroke of the squeegee, Alex felt more connected to the world below. The rain, once a nuisance, now felt like a part of his journey, a cleansing force that washed away the clutter of everyday life. He was not just a window cleaner, he was a storyteller, revealing the beauty hidden behind layers of dirt. As he continued his work, he felt a sense of calm wash over him. The city, though shrouded in rain, was alive with stories waiting to be uncovered. And he was right in the middle of it all, doing what he loved most. The rain continued to pour down in relentless sheets as Alex secured his harness and prepared for his first job of the day at a towering high-rise building. The sound of raindrops hitting the pavement below created a rhythmic backdrop, almost like nature was setting the stage for his work. He took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh, clean smell that only rain could bring. It invigorated him, sparking a sense of determination that had become an essential part of who he was as a window cleaner. As he stepped up onto the ledge, he glanced down at the city below, a bustling hive of activity that rarely paused for the weather. Amid the chaos, he spotted a few people with umbrellas scurrying from one building to another, their hurried movements contrasting with the serene, almost meditative state he found himself in, high above it all. In those moments, suspended in the rain, he felt a strange sense of peace. Cleaning windows was more than a job for him, it was a way to see the world from a different perspective. With a swift motion, he dipped his squeegee into the soapy water, feeling the cool liquid against his fingers. The first window loomed before him, a massive expanse of glass that reflected the gray sky. As he started to clean, he felt the familiar grip of the squeegee, a tool that had become an extension of his own hand. Each stroke was a dance, a rhythm he had perfected over the years. He took pride in his work, knowing that with each swipe, he was not just cleaning but revealing the world beyond, transforming the obscured view into something bright and clear. As he worked, he couldn't help but think about the challenges that came with cleaning windows in the rain. Slippery surfaces and gusts of wind were constant threats that required sharp focus and quick reactions. He remembered a day not too long ago when a sudden gust had nearly knocked him off balance. It was a reminder that while he loved this job, it was not without its risks. But there was something about the thrill of it all that kept him coming back. Leave a like to help the channel grow, he thought to himself, chuckling at the notion that his life could be a story worth sharing. After all, who would imagine that a window cleaner could have such a profound connection to the world around him? Yet, here he was, navigating the challenges of his craft with the same dedication he applied to everything else in life. As he moved to the next window, he felt the rain intensifying. It was as if the sky had decided to join him in his efforts, making his task even more challenging. The squeegee slipped slightly in his grasp, and he steadied himself, his heart racing for a moment. He had to be cautious, one misstep could lead to a dangerous fall. But he was no stranger to this dance. With a practiced hand, he adjusted his grip, focusing on the glass before him. Halfway through the building, he paused for a moment, allowing himself to reflect. The city was alive with stories, each window he cleaned held a glimpse into the lives of those inside. He thought of the families, the office workers, and the children who would peer through these panes, perhaps unaware of the world outside their own little bubbles. Cleaning windows, he realized, was about more than just maintenance, it was about connection. Suddenly, a little girl on the 5th floor caught his eye. She watched him intently through the glass, her face pressed against the window with wide, curious eyes. Her expression shifted from curiosity to delight as he met her gaze, and he couldn't help but smile. In that moment, he felt a wave of warmth wash over him. "Hey there! What do you think of my magical cleaning skills?" he called out playfully, his voice carrying through the rain-soaked air. The girl giggled in response, her laughter breaking through the steady patter of rain. It was moments like these that made all the cold and wet worth enduring. If he could bring a little joy to someone's day, then every drop of rain was worthwhile. He continued his work, occasionally glancing up to see the girl's reactions. Each time she laughed or clapped, it fueled his motivation. As he reached the top of the building, the rain began to ease, and a sense of accomplishment washed over him. The first set of windows gleamed, free from the grime that had accumulated over time. He took a moment to admire his handiwork, feeling proud of what he had achieved. It wasn't just about cleaning, it was about bringing clarity to the lives of others, even if only for a fleeting moment. His mind drifted back to the girl. She reminded him of his own childhood, a time filled with dreams and laughter. He thought about how each job connected him to the larger narrative of the city, weaving threads of humanity into his day-to-day life. It was these connections that made his work meaningful. As he moved to the next section of windows, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. With every stroke of the squeegee, he was not just revealing the world outside but also reflecting on his own journey. The rain had a way of washing away the distractions, allowing him to focus on what truly mattered. In those moments of solitude, he found clarity amidst the chaos of life. As he finished the last window on this side, he took a deep breath, savoring the fresh scent of rain mingling with the urban landscape. He felt unstoppable, ready to tackle whatever challenges lay ahead. The rain may have been fierce, but it was also a reminder of resilience, the ability to rise above the storm, to find beauty in the struggle. Comment on your favorite moment and turn on notifications, he thought, chuckling again at the absurdity of it all. Yet, deep down, he hoped that his story resonated with others. Perhaps they too could find inspiration in the everyday moments, the simple acts of cleaning and connecting, even in the rain. With the first job of the day completed, he secured his gear and prepared for the next building. The city around him was beginning to calm, the rain slowly subsiding into a gentle drizzle. The world felt a little brighter, a little clearer, and as he looked out over the skyline, he felt that same sense of hope. Alex took a moment to appreciate the beauty of his surroundings. The city was waking up, the buildings shimmering in the aftermath of the rain. It was in these moments that he found a deeper appreciation for his work, a humble yet essential role in the tapestry of urban life. As he descended to the ground, a smile spread across his face, knowing that each window he cleaned had the potential to brighten someone's day. And with that thought, he stepped forward into the next chapter of his rainy adventure. As Alex continued to clean the windows, his movements became almost second nature. The rhythmic swish of the squeegee against the glass was accompanied by the persistent drizzle, creating a soothing backdrop that, oddly enough, added to his focus. He shifted his gaze to the little girl on the fifth floor, still watching him with wide-eyed curiosity. Her innocence was refreshing, a stark contrast to the grown-up world of bills, work, and relentless responsibilities he often faced. "Hey there," he called out again, this time with a bit more enthusiasm. "Want to see how I make the windows sparkle?" The girl's eyes lit up, and she nodded vigorously, her small frame bouncing with excitement. As he continued his work, he couldn't help but feel a connection with her. There was something about her gaze that reminded him of simpler times, of childhood dreams and unfiltered joy. He recalled the days when he would lay on the grass, staring up at the clouds, imagining stories of space travel and superheroes. Those dreams had faded over the years, replaced by the reality of life. "Did you know that cleaning windows is like making the world clearer?" he said, trying to keep her engaged as he worked. "Every swipe reveals a little more of what's outside. It's like magic." He chuckled to himself, knowing that he might sound silly, but he didn't care. It was moments like these that made his job worth it. "Why do you clean windows in the rain?" the girl asked, her voice barely audible over the sound of falling droplets. Alex paused, contemplating her question. "Well, someone has to do it, right? And believe it or not, the rain helps clean the glass too. It's a little messy, but I like it. It's like a challenge. And besides, I get to meet cool people like you." He winked, and she giggled again, pressing her face closer to the glass. The girl's laughter was infectious, and Alex felt a surge of energy. It was as if her joy reinvigorated him, washing away the fatigue that had begun to settle in his bones. The rain, which had initially felt like an annoyance, now seemed like an essential part of this experience. It was a reminder that beauty could be found even in less than perfect conditions. As he prepped to clean the next window, he noticed the girl's mother approaching, her expression curious and slightly apprehensive. Sorry to interrupt, she said, a hint of embarrassment in her voice, but I just wanted to make sure she's not bothering you. Not at all. Alex replied, his smile broadening. She's been my biggest cheerleader today. It's nice to have someone rooting for me from up here. The mother chuckled, visibly relaxing as she watched her daughter's excitement. Alex continued cleaning, glancing up occasionally to share a smile or a wave with the girl. Each time he looked, he felt a little more connected, not just to her, but to the essence of what he was doing. He wasn't just cleaning windows, he was sharing moments of joy, bridging the gap between his world and theirs. The rain began to lighten, and Alex took a moment to appreciate the view from his perch. The city, though shrouded in gray clouds, still held a beauty that was uniquely its own. Each building had its story, and each window was a portal into different lives. He felt like a storyteller, peeling back layers of grime to reveal the narratives hidden behind the glass. Isn't it amazing how a little bit of work can change everything? He mused aloud, half to himself and half to the girl. Look at this window, I've made it so clean that you can see everything outside now. Just like life, sometimes we need a little help to see things more clearly. He felt a twinge of nostalgia, remembering his own journey and how far he had come. Why do you clean windows? The girl asked again, her voice filled with genuine curiosity. Is it fun? Alex chuckled, wiping his hands on his cloth. It can be. Some days are harder than others, especially when it rains. But I get to see the world from a different perspective, and that's pretty cool. Plus, I get to talk to interesting people like you. He pointed his squeegee at her playfully, causing her to erupt in giggles once more. As he finished the last window on that side, the rain finally stopped, and a soft, golden light began to break through the clouds. It was as if the city itself was taking a deep breath, exhaling the tension of the storm. The air smelled fresh and clean, invigorating him even more. He took a moment to stand back and admire his work. The windows sparkled, reflecting the muted colors of the cityscape. There was a sense of accomplishment in knowing that he had contributed to this small part of the world. Comment on your favorite moment and turn on notifications, he thought, realizing how much he enjoyed sharing his experiences. If only others could see the beauty in these everyday moments, perhaps they would find joy in their own lives too. With the first job of the day complete, Alex gathered his gear, feeling a sense of pride swell within him. He glanced back up at the little girl, who was still watching him, her eyes shining with admiration. Keep looking out for me, okay? I'll be back soon to make your windows even shinier, he called out, waving as he prepared to head down. Okay, she shouted back, her voice filled with enthusiasm. I'll be waiting. As he descended to the ground, he couldn't shake the feeling that today was different. The rain had washed away more than just dirt, it had cleared his mind and opened his heart. Each job, each connection, had added another layer to his understanding of the world. He felt grateful for the opportunity to bring a little light into people's lives, even on the dreariest of days. The city was beginning to calm, the hustle and bustle slowly returning as people emerged from their homes, eager to embrace the fresh air. As he stepped onto the sidewalk, he took a deep breath, allowing the energy of the city to fill him with inspiration. With every window he cleaned, he was not just performing a task, he was part of a larger story, one of connection, resilience, and hope. And that thought propelled him forward into the next chapter of his rainy adventure. As Alex continued to clean the windows, he felt an invigorating rush of energy from the previous interaction with the little girl. Despite the rain drizzling down, a newfound determination fueled his movements. He approached the next stretch of glass with a sense of purpose, ready to tackle the challenges that awaited him. The wind picked up slightly, sending a shiver down his spine. He adjusted his grip on the squeegee, recalling the importance of being steady and focused. With each stroke across the glass, he could feel the weight of his thoughts lifting. The rhythmic motion became almost meditative as he wiped away the grime, revealing a clearer view of the world outside. But just as he was getting into a groove, the rain intensified once more, beating against the windows with a furious patter. Alex squinted through the droplets, assessing the conditions. The surface beneath his feet became slick, and he had to remind himself to stay grounded, both physically and mentally. It was a test of balance, a dance between mastery and the unpredictable forces of nature. In that moment, he thought of the many times he faced adversity in life. Each job, each challenge, had shaped him into the person he was today. Cleaning windows in the rain felt like a metaphor for overcoming obstacles. There was beauty in the struggle, and he embraced it. He took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh scent of rain mixed with the city's unique blend of aromas. It was invigorating, and he allowed it to fuel his spirit. Sometimes, you just have to push through the storm, he said to himself, feeling the words resonate within him. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to hit that like button. It was a small reminder to himself that sharing these moments could inspire others too. As he moved to the next window, he caught a glimpse of his reflection in the glass. There he was, a humble window cleaner, but also a dreamer, someone who had not lost sight of hope and joy. It was easy to get lost in the routine of life, but moments like these reminded him to appreciate the journey, however messy it might be. Just then, a sudden gust of wind swept through, catching him off guard. His feet slipped, and for a heart-stopping moment, he felt himself teetering on the edge of losing his balance. "Focus, Alex," he shouted, regaining his footing just in time. The adrenaline surged through him, heightening his senses. He steadied himself, gripping the squeegee tighter, reminding himself of the importance of resilience in the face of challenges. Comment on your favorite moment and turn on notifications, he thought, chuckling at the idea of sharing his near mishap with his viewers. Each day brought stories worth telling, and he wanted to capture every thrilling and mundane moment. With the rain still pouring, Alex found himself in a rhythm again. He noticed the water droplets racing down the glass, creating tiny rivers that twisted and turned. It was mesmerizing, and he smiled as he wiped away the last remnants of dirt. The clean glass reflected not just the cityscape but also his own reflections, dreams, aspirations, and the journey that lay ahead. He paused for a moment, taking a step back to admire the work he had done. The windows sparkled, glistening in the dim light as though they were ready to showcase the world beyond. The rain began to lighten again, almost as if it were giving him a moment to breathe and appreciate the beauty of his labor. As he continued, he noticed that the city was slowly coming back to life. People began to emerge from their homes, shaking off the effects of the rain, ready to face the day. There was something magical about seeing life unfold from his high vantage point. He felt like a guardian of the city, making it just a little brighter with each clean window. "Remember to take advantage of the exclusive discount with NordVPN," he murmured, incorporating it into his thoughts. The idea of online safety resonated with him. Just like cleaning windows provided clarity, digital security was about ensuring a safe space in an ever-expanding world. The rain finally began to subside, and the soft glow of sunlight began to filter through the clouds. It was a gentle reminder that storms never last forever, and there was always a silver lining waiting to break through. He took a moment to close his eyes and let the warmth of the sun kiss his face. As he moved to the next set of windows, he felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for his job. It was not just about the physical act of cleaning, it was about the connections he made, the stories he gathered, and the lessons learned along the way. Each window held the potential for a new encounter, a new perspective, and an opportunity to find joy in the simplest of tasks. He glanced back at the little girl who still watched him from her apartment, her face pressed against the glass. She waved enthusiastically, and he waved back, his heart swelling with warmth. It was moments like these that made the challenges worthwhile. They reminded him that his work had purpose and meaning. "Hang in there, little buddy. I'll be done soon so you can see the world more clearly," he called out, his voice carrying through the air. He felt a renewed sense of energy coursing through him, propelling him forward as he tackled the next window. With each wipe of the squeegee, he could see the city more clearly. The raindrops that had once distorted his view were now mere memories, washed away, leaving a pristine surface that reflected the hopes and dreams of those who lived behind the glass. It was a reminder that life, like the windows he cleaned, could be transformed with a little effort, even in the midst of a storm. As he finished another window, he felt a sense of accomplishment wash over him. The world outside was clear, vibrant, and full of life, just like his own. He smiled to himself, realizing that every drop of rain had its purpose, just as every window needed cleaning to let the light in. With the tasks at hand still awaiting him, he took a deep breath and prepared for the next challenge. The rain may have been relentless, but so was he. The city was calming, and so was he, ready to embrace whatever came next with open arms. The rain poured steadily, a relentless symphony of droplets against the metal frame of the scaffolding. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill his lungs, a stark contrast to the warm steam rising from the city streets below. He had just experienced a close call, one that reminded him that the job he loved could turn dangerous in an instant. "Focus, Alex," he thought, shaking off the adrenaline and centering his thoughts. As he wiped the last window, the adrenaline subsided, and he could hear the city beginning to stir again. The streets, once deserted due to the downpour, were slowly filling with life as people emerged, shaking off their umbrellas and stepping back into the rhythm of their day. He noticed a couple of children splashing through puddles, their laughter ringing out like music, and it brought a smile to his face. Moments like these reminded him why he loved this job. It wasn't just about cleaning windows, it was about being part of the larger tapestry of life in the city. Comment on your favorite moment and turn on notifications, he thought, chuckling to himself. Each day had its own stories, and he wanted to share them. He wanted his viewers to feel the joy he felt witnessing life unfolding around him. With the rain still coming down, Alex prepared to tackle the next set of windows. As he moved to the adjacent building, he noticed the way the reflections danced on the glass, creating a canvas of blurred images, the skyline, the clouds, and the faint outlines of people walking by. It was a beautiful chaos, and he felt a deep sense of gratitude for being able to witness it from such a unique vantage point. He reached the next window, his thoughts drifting back to his earlier reflections. Cleaning windows wasn't just a job, it was a metaphor for clarity in life. Just like the glass needed a good scrub to shine, he too had to confront the dust and grime that accumulated over time, both in his work and in his personal life. He thought about the sacrifices he made, missed family gatherings, friends drifted away, and dreams that seemed to slip further from his grasp with each passing day. "Remember to take advantage of the exclusive discount with NordVPN," he muttered under his breath, a reminder of the importance of security, both online and offline. It was a concept that resonated with him, much like the need for transparency in his own life. Just as he scrubbed away the dirt to let the light in, he needed to address the layers of his own existence that clouded his vision. The rain began to lighten, and for a moment, the clouds parted, allowing a beam of sunlight to break through. He closed his eyes, letting the warmth wash over him. It was a moment of solace in an otherwise demanding day. With a renewed sense of energy, he resumed his work, feeling more connected to the world around him. As he continued cleaning, he reflected on the relationships he had cultivated over the years, clients who had become friends, the little girl from the apartment earlier who brightened his day with her innocent excitement, and even the strangers he encountered in passing. Each interaction had left a mark on him, shaping who he was and reminding him of the beauty of human connection. He glanced at the bustling street below and noticed a man in a business suit struggling with an umbrella that had turned inside out in the wind. Instead of laughing, Alex felt a deep empathy for him. He knew what it felt like to be at the mercy of the elements, battling against the odds. It was moments like these, where vulnerability shone through, that reminded Alex of the importance of compassion. No one was truly alone in this vast city. With each swipe of the squeegee, he found himself lost in thought, pondering the complexities of life. It was like cleaning, sometimes it took more than just a quick wipe to get rid of the grime. Sometimes you had to dig deeper, confront uncomfortable truths, and be willing to get a little dirty in the process. He was reminded that every job, no matter how humble, had its own dignity and purpose. Leave a like to help the channel grow, he thought, envisioning the thumbs up icons popping up on his video. It was a small way to connect with those who watched him, to share not just the act of cleaning, but the stories behind it, the lessons learned, the moments of joy, and even the struggles that shaped his day-to-day life. The clouds moved in again, and the rain returned, though it felt softer now, more like a gentle mist than a downpour. He continued to scrub away, focusing on the task at hand while allowing his mind to wander through memories and hopes for the future. He thought about how his job allowed him to meet all kinds of people and hear their stories, each one unique and filled with lessons. As he finished another window, he felt a surge of determination. Cleaning these windows wasn't just about providing a service, it was about making a difference, however small, in someone's day. It was about creating a clearer view of the world outside, not just for the people who lived in those buildings, but for himself as well. With the rain now falling in a steady rhythm, he tackled the last few windows with a renewed vigor. With each clean surface, he felt lighter, as though he was shedding the weight of his own worries. The world outside was beginning to look bright and vibrant again, reflecting the resilience of the city and its people. As he stepped back to admire his work, he felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The glass sparkled, and he could see the city beyond alive, vibrant, and full of possibilities. He felt a deep connection to the world around him, a part of something larger than himself. The rain may have been relentless, but so was he. With every wipe and every reflection, he was reminded that life, like the windows he cleaned, could be transformed with a little effort. He smiled, ready to embrace the next challenge, knowing that as the city calmed, so did he. Through the rain and the grime, he found clarity, purpose, and joy in the simple act of cleaning windows. As the rain lightened to a gentle drizzle, Alex approached the luxurious penthouse that was his next job. The building towered above the streets, its glass facade gleaming with reflections of the overcast sky. He took a moment to admire the architecture, the way it seemed to blend modernity with elegance. The sight always motivated him, a reminder of what people could achieve when they put their minds to it. "Remember to take advantage of the exclusive discount with NordVPN," he muttered, thinking about how important it was to protect one's online presence in this digital age. Just as he protected the glass surfaces he cleaned, ensuring they were clear and unobstructed, he understood the necessity of safeguarding personal information in an increasingly connected world. Stepping into the lobby, he was greeted by the doorman, a friendly face who nodded in recognition. The elevator doors opened with a soft ding, and Alex stepped inside, feeling a rush of anticipation. He had always found something exhilarating about working in high places. The city spread out beneath him like a living tapestry. As the elevator ascended, he glanced at his reflection in the polished metal walls. His rain-soaked hair clung to his forehead, and he wiped the droplets from his face. Today was one of those days where every job felt significant, like a puzzle piece fitting into a larger picture. Maybe it was the rain that made everything seem more poignant, or perhaps it was the stories he collected from each window he cleaned. The elevator doors opened, revealing the penthouse suite, and Alex stepped out into a spacious living room that boasted breathtaking views of the skyline. The floor-to-ceiling windows offered an unobstructed panorama, and he could see the city bustling with life, even through the misty rain. It was a reminder that, despite the downpour, life continued unabated outside. He set up his cleaning equipment in the corner, taking a moment to appreciate the luxurious interior. The furniture was chic, the accents modern, and the art on the walls spoke of a world far removed from his everyday life. He was just a window cleaner, but in moments like this, he felt like he was brushing against the lives of those who inhabited these spaces. As he began to work, he noticed a soft voice drifting from the adjacent room. It was a couple, discussing something quietly but passionately. He could only catch snippets of their conversation, but it was clear they were in a disagreement. The tension in their voices resonated with him, and he couldn't help but ponder the complexities of relationships. "Leave a like to help the channel grow," he thought, imagining the likes pouring in as viewers connected with the stories he shared through his work. Cleaning windows wasn't just about making them shine, it was about connecting with people, hearing their stories, and understanding their struggles. The couple's discussion grew louder, and Alex found himself distracted. He could hear the man expressing frustration over something mundane, while the woman responded with equal fervor. It was a familiar dance, one he had witnessed countless times before in various forms. He wanted to pause, to lean in and offer a word of encouragement, a reminder that communication often held the key to resolution. But he was here to work, not intervene. He focused on the window in front of him, applying his squeegee with precision. The water cascaded down, revealing the world outside. Each stroke felt therapeutic, a release from the tension he sensed within the apartment. The rain outside continued to fall, creating a soft rhythm that matched the thumping of his heart. As he wiped the glass clean, he couldn't help but reflect on his own life. Each window he washed was like a chapter from his story, revealing different facets of his journey. There were moments of joy, like the laughter of the little girl he had met earlier, and moments of hardship, like the sacrifices he had made to become the person he was today. The man's voice raised an octave, snapping Alex out of his reverie. The argument had escalated, and he felt a pang of empathy for the couple. He remembered the conflict he had faced in his own relationships, the times he had let pride get in the way of understanding. He chuckled softly to himself, thinking how, in his line of work, he often found himself as a silent witness to the lives of others. He could see their struggles, their joys, and the little moments that made life beautiful. It was a unique perspective, one that gave him insight into the human experience. Comment on your favorite moment and turn on notifications, he thought, envisioning his viewers engaging with his content, sharing their own stories of connection and understanding. It was in these moments of reflection that he realized the power of storytelling, how it could bridge gaps and create empathy among strangers. As he continued to clean, the argument in the background began to soften. The couple seemed to be talking more calmly now, their voices less sharp. It was a reminder that conflicts could resolve, that with patience and understanding, they could find common ground. He felt a sense of hope wash over him, just as the rain began to lighten once more. With every window he completed, Alex felt as though he was also cleansing his own mind. Each streak he removed was like a worry dissipating, a burden lifted. He took a step back to admire his work, the glass gleaming brightly against the dreary backdrop of the storm. The world outside was becoming clearer, more vibrant, as the rain began to ease. He finished the last window of the penthouse, stepping back to take it all in. The city was alive beneath the clouds, and for a moment, he felt a part of something larger, a connection to the urban landscape that had shaped him. The rain may have obscured the view initially, but now it only enhanced the beauty of the city, the colors more vivid against the gray. As he packed up his equipment, he couldn't help but feel grateful for the experiences of the day. Each job, each interaction, had added layers to his understanding of humanity. He walked back to the elevator, taking one last look around the stunning penthouse, a sense of fulfillment blossoming within him. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, he reminded himself, eager to share the day's lessons with his viewers. He stepped into the elevator, feeling lighter, as if the rain had washed away not just the dirt from the windows, but also some of the heaviness from his own heart. As the doors closed, he knew he was ready for whatever came next, ready to embrace the challenges and joys that lay ahead. The city was calming, and so was he. As Alex continued to wipe down the sparkling windows of the penthouse, he felt a wave of clarity wash over him. The rain had turned from a relentless downpour to a gentle drizzle, and the world outside looked different, more vibrant, more alive. Each stroke of his squeegee revealed a clearer view of the city, and he couldn't help but draw parallels to his own life. The rain had obscured his past, creating a murky haze over his dreams, but now, with each window he cleaned, it felt as if he was also cleansing his own soul. He took a moment to breathe, leaning against the glass to observe the bustling streets below. People were hurrying about, umbrellas in hand, and there was a certain beauty in their urgency. It reminded him of the lives he had witnessed through the very windows he was cleaning, stories woven into the fabric of the city. As he worked, his thoughts drifted back to the couple in the penthouse who had momentarily distracted him from his task. Their argument had reminded him of the complexities of communication, how easily misunderstandings could arise. Comment on your favorite moment and turn on notifications, he thought, imagining his viewers engaging with this story. It was a reminder that these experiences weren't just his, they were universal, and everyone had their own tales to tell. The couple's voices had faded into a calm dialogue, a sign of resolution. It was a testament to the power of patience and understanding, qualities that Alex had come to appreciate in his work. He could see how each person was trying to express themselves, seeking to be heard in a world that often felt too loud, too chaotic. Just as he was there to clean their view of the city, he felt a calling to help others clear the haze in their relationships. As he cleaned the last window in the spacious living area, he caught sight of a young man across the street. The young man was sitting on a bench, absorbed in a book, seemingly unfazed by the rain. Alex admired his focus, wondering what stories were unfolding in the pages. He could relate to that sense of absorption, the way it felt to be lost in a world of thoughts and dreams. The young man raised his eyes from the book, and Alex caught the briefest smile, one that seemed to acknowledge their shared moment of solitude amidst the urban chaos. This connection, though fleeting, fueled Alex's motivation. He finished up his work in the penthouse with a renewed sense of purpose. Each window cleaned felt like a small victory, a contribution to someone else's view of the world. He had always thought of his job as merely a means to an end, a way to pay the bills, but now he realized it was much more than that. It was a way to connect with people, to offer them a glimpse of clarity in their own lives. Stepping back, Alex admired the gleaming windows. The reflections of the cityscape were mesmerizing, the colors bursting forth like a painting come to life. The rain had painted the streets in a slick sheen, accentuating the vibrancy of the passing cars and pedestrians. It reminded him of how the mundane could transform into something beautiful with just a little bit of perspective. With his equipment packed away, he felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The lessons he had learned that day were profound. He had witnessed not only the struggles of others but also the resilience of the human spirit. If you're enjoying this story, hit that like button, he thought, eager to share these experiences with his viewers, to encourage them to reflect on their own lives. Alex took one last look around the penthouse. The couple was now sitting in silence, their earlier tension dissipated like the clouds outside. He could sense a newfound understanding blossoming between them. It was a beautiful sight, one that filled him with hope. Hope that relationships could be mended, that conversations could lead to understanding, and that sometimes, all it took was a little rain to wash away the dirt. As he stepped into the elevator, the cool air greeted him, and he felt lighter, almost buoyant. The day had been a journey, not just through the city but through the intricacies of human connection. The elevator descended smoothly, and he reflected on the many lives he had touched that day, even if just for a moment. Arriving at the ground floor, Alex exited the building and stepped out into the now drizzling rain. The city felt quieter, more serene. The storm had passed, and while some might have viewed it as a nuisance, he saw it as a cleansing. The streets glistened, and the air was fresh, a perfect metaphor for his own experiences. He walked down the street, noticing how the rain had softened the harsh edges of the city. The vibrant colors of storefronts and the laughter of children splashing through puddles filled him with joy. It was a reminder that life continued to unfold around him, regardless of the challenges he faced. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, he thought, imagining the stories he could share about the beauty of everyday moments, the connections made, the lessons learned. As he turned a corner, he spotted a small cafe that had just opened. The warmth emanating from inside called to him, and he decided to step in for a moment of respite. The smell of freshly brewed coffee wrapped around him like a comforting blanket. He ordered a cup and found a cozy corner near the window, watching as people passed by, umbrellas bobbing above their heads, laughter echoing through the air. Sipping his coffee, Alex reflected on the day. He thought about the little girl who had watched him clean, the couple who had argued, and the young man lost in his book. Each interaction had added a layer to his understanding of life, and he felt grateful for the chance to witness it all. He pulled out his phone, ready to capture a moment to share with his viewers. Today was about more than just cleaning windows, he wrote. It was about seeing the world through different perspectives, connecting with others, and finding beauty even in the rain. The cafe buzzed with life, and he felt a sense of belonging. This was his city, his community, and he was proud to be a part of it. In that moment, he realized that even the simplest jobs could lead to profound insights. Just as he cleaned windows for a living, he was also cleaning the lenses through which he viewed the world around him. As he finished his coffee, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. There would always be challenges ahead, storms to weather, but he was ready to embrace them. With every window he cleaned, he would continue to share his journey, reminding everyone that sometimes, a little rain could lead to a clearer view. As Alex stepped out of the penthouse, he was greeted by a remarkable transformation in the city. The rain had lightened to a gentle drizzle, and the clouds were beginning to part, revealing patches of blue sky. The air, fresh and crisp, felt like a promise after the storm. He took a deep breath, savoring the scent of wet asphalt and blooming flowers from nearby planters. It was one of those moments that reminded him of the beauty that could emerge after a tumultuous day. The streets seemed quieter now, almost peaceful. People walked with a new sense of purpose, their previous hurry replaced by a leisurely stroll. Alex noticed a few children splashing in puddles, their laughter echoing like music through the streets. He paused for a moment, taking in the scene, feeling a warmth spread through him. It was in these simple moments that life revealed its most profound truths. If you're enjoying this story, hit that like button, he thought, wishing he could share this sense of joy and calm with his viewers. As he continued his journey, he reflected on the day's events. Each window he had cleaned was not just a pane of glass, it was a connection to the lives behind it. He thought of the couple in the penthouse, their earlier frustration dissipating into understanding, and the little girl who had watched him, her eyes wide with wonder. These interactions felt like threads weaving a tapestry of shared humanity. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that his work was about more than just cleaning, it was about making the world a little clearer for others. Alex arrived at his next job, a community center nestled between two towering buildings. The exterior was unassuming, but he knew that what happened inside was invaluable. As he pulled out his cleaning supplies, he could hear the faint sounds of laughter and chatter through the doors. It was a place where stories were shared, where connections were made, and where people found solace. The thought made him smile as he prepared for his task. He began cleaning the windows, each swipe of the squeegee revealing more of the world outside. As he worked, he noticed an elderly woman seated near the entrance, watching him with keen interest. Her presence was warm, and a gentle smile graced her lips. He felt an instant connection to her, as if she could see the threads of his day woven into the fabric of her own experiences. "Hello there," Alex called out, pausing his work. "How's your day going?" "Oh, just fine, dear," she replied, her voice like honey. "It's lovely to see someone working hard, especially on a rainy day like this." "Thank you. It's not always easy, but moments like these make it worthwhile," he said, gesturing to the children still playing in the puddles nearby. "I remember when I was young, splashing in the rain without a care in the world," she said, her eyes twinkling with nostalgia. "There's something magical about it, don't you think?" "It really is," Alex agreed, feeling a warmth in his chest. "It's like the world gets a fresh start, just like we do sometimes." The woman nodded, her gaze thoughtful. "You know, it's the little moments that remind us to appreciate life. We often get caught up in our troubles and forget to enjoy the beauty around us." Alex considered her words. As a window cleaner, he often witnessed life through a different lens, quite literally. His job allowed him to observe the world from various heights and perspectives. "You're right," he said. "Sometimes, all it takes is a clear view to see what truly matters." "I'm glad you think so," she replied. "And thank you for your hard work. You're making our community a brighter place." Her words struck a chord within him. He often felt unseen in his profession, merely a person behind the glass, but her acknowledgement filled him with a sense of pride. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he thought, wishing to share this uplifting moment with others who might need it. The rain had completely stopped now, and the sun began to break through the clouds, casting a golden hue over the city. With each streak of sunlight that illuminated the windows, Alex felt a renewed energy coursing through him. He finished cleaning the last pane, stepping back to admire his work. The reflections of the community center shimmered, creating a vibrant picture of life. "Thank you for your kindness," he said to the elderly woman as he gathered his supplies. "It means a lot to me." "Don't mention it, dear. Just keep doing what you're doing. You never know how much of a difference you're making," she replied, her smile radiating warmth. As Alex walked back to his van, he reflected on her words. Each interaction had the potential to brighten someone's day, just as the sun had brightened the city after the rain. He thought of all the stories he could tell, the lessons learned, and the connections made. He felt grateful to be part of this intricate web of humanity, even if his role seemed small. Once in his van, he turned on the radio, letting the music fill the space around him. The songs were uplifting, perfectly matching the newfound energy he felt. He drove through the rejuvenated streets, noticing how the colors seemed more vibrant, the people more animated. It was as if the rain had washed away not only the grime but also the heaviness that sometimes clung to the city. Arriving at his final destination of the day, a community park, Alex took a moment to survey the area. Families were gathered, children were playing, and laughter floated through the air. The atmosphere was electric with joy. He parked the van and stepped out, ready for one last job. Leave a like to help the channel grow, he thought, eager to share this final chapter of his day with those who followed his story. As he began cleaning the park's windows, he noticed a group of parents chatting nearby, their voices filled with laughter and camaraderie. It was a testament to the connections forged in spaces like this. He caught snippets of their conversations, plans for summer picnics, discussions about their kids' achievements, and shared experiences that brought them closer together. It warmed his heart to see how a simple park could become a hub of community life. With each wipe of his squeegee, he felt inspired by the spirit of togetherness surrounding him. He thought of how he could incorporate these experiences into his videos, highlighting the beauty of human connections, the importance of community, and the little moments that often go unnoticed. As he finished the last window, he stepped back, taking in the view of the park. The sun was now shining brightly, casting a warm glow over the scene. It felt like a fitting end to his day, a reminder that through the storms and struggles, there was always a chance for renewal and clarity. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he thought once more, filled with anticipation for sharing this journey with his viewers. With a heart full of gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose, Alex gathered his equipment and made his way back to the van, ready to reflect on the profound lessons learned throughout the day. The city had calmed, the rain had passed, and in the quiet moments that followed, he felt a deeper connection to the world around him. As Alex continued to clean the windows at the park, he began to notice the familiar faces of the community. Children ran and played, their laughter ringing through the air like music. Parents gathered on benches, sharing stories and enjoying the sunshine that had finally broken through after the rain. It was a vibrant scene, one that filled him with warmth and energy. With each swipe of his squeegee, he felt a connection to the life unfolding around him. It was more than just cleaning, it was about being part of something larger. Suddenly, an elderly woman approached him, her silver hair shining in the sunlight. She walked with a slight hunch but carried herself with an air of dignity. As she got closer, Alex could see the kindness in her eyes. "Excuse me, young man," she said with a gentle voice, "thank you for making our windows so clean. It's not just about the view, you know. It's about the light that comes in." Alex paused, his squeegee hovering in mid-air. He turned to face her fully, intrigued by her perspective. "You're right," he replied. "Sometimes, all it takes is a clear view to see what truly matters." "I've lived many years, dear," she shared, her voice soft yet filled with wisdom. "And I've learned that the little things matter the most. Like a clean window that lets the sunshine in or a friendly face that brightens your day. You're doing a wonderful job." Her words struck a chord within him. He often felt unseen in his profession, just a person behind the glass, but her acknowledgement filled him with pride. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he thought, wishing to share this uplifting moment with others who might need it. As he resumed his work, Alex couldn't help but reflect on the significance of his role. Each window he cleaned not only improved the view but also contributed to the overall atmosphere of joy and comfort for the families using the park. He glanced around, taking in the smiles and laughter that filled the space. This was more than just a job, it was a means of connecting with his community. The sun continued to shine brightly, casting golden rays across the park. Alex wiped down another window, and as he did, he noticed small details: a child chasing a butterfly, a couple sharing a picnic, a group of friends playing frisbee. These moments of life, so simple yet profound, reminded him of the beauty in everyday occurrences. He envisioned sharing these experiences with his viewers, showing them that even the smallest actions can create ripples of happiness. As he finished the last window of the community center, he stepped back to admire his work. The reflections shimmered in the sunlight, creating a beautiful picture of life in motion. "Thank you for your kindness," he said to the elderly woman as he gathered his supplies. "It means a lot to me." "Don't mention it, dear. Just keep doing what you're doing. You never know how much of a difference you're making," she replied, her smile radiating warmth. With a heart full of gratitude, Alex walked back to his van, pondering her words. Each interaction had the potential to brighten someone's day, just as the sun had brightened the city after the rain. He thought of the stories he could tell, the lessons learned, and the connections made. There was something deeply fulfilling about his work, something he hadn't fully appreciated until now. Once in his van, he turned on the radio, letting the music fill the space around him. The upbeat melodies matched his newfound energy, lifting his spirits even higher. As he drove through the rejuvenated streets, he noticed how the colors seemed more vibrant, the people more animated. It felt as if the rain had washed away not just the grime but also the heaviness that sometimes clung to the city. As he prepared to head to his next job, a sense of calm washed over him. The streets were alive, filled with laughter and chatter, and his heart swelled with appreciation for the community he served. "Leave a like to help the channel grow," he thought, eager to share this final chapter of his day with those who followed his story. Arriving at a beautiful community park, Alex took a moment to survey the area. Families were spread out, children were playing games, and the atmosphere was electric with joy. It was a testament to the connections forged in spaces like these, and he felt privileged to be a part of that experience. As he began cleaning the windows of a small pavilion, he overheard snippets of conversation from nearby parents. They spoke of their plans for summer picnics, the excitement of their children's milestones, and shared experiences that brought them closer together. Each laugh and smile echoed the sentiment that they were all in this together, navigating the ups and downs of life. With each wipe of his squeegee, Alex felt inspired by the spirit of togetherness surrounding him. He thought of how he could incorporate these experiences into his videos, highlighting the beauty of human connections, the importance of community, and the little moments that often go unnoticed. He imagined sharing stories about family gatherings, summer celebrations, and the simple joys that made life so rich. As he finished the last window, he stepped back, taking in the view of the park. The sun was now shining brightly, casting a warm glow over the scene. It felt like a fitting end to his day, a reminder that through storms and struggles, there was always a chance for renewal and clarity. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he thought once more, filled with anticipation for sharing this journey with his viewers. With a heart full of gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose, Alex gathered his equipment and made his way back to the van, ready to reflect on the profound lessons learned throughout the day. The city had calmed, the rain had passed, and in the quiet moments that followed, he felt a deeper connection to the world around him. As he drove away, he realized that each window he cleaned was a gateway to understanding the human experience. His job may have seemed humble, but it held the power to illuminate the lives of others. The stories he encountered were vibrant and real, reminding him of the beauty in everyday moments and the importance of connection. As the last strokes of rainwater dripped from the eaves of the community center, Alex stepped back from the final window he had just polished to a sparkling clarity. The sun broke through the clouds, and golden rays cascaded down, illuminating the freshly cleaned glass. The world outside seemed transformed, colors were richer, the sounds of laughter and chatter filled the air, and the park nearby brimmed with people enjoying the aftermath of the storm. He took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh scent of rain mingling with the earthy aroma of wet grass. It felt like a rebirth, both for the city and for himself. Each window he cleaned wasn't just a task completed, it was a reflection of the lives that passed by, a moment of connection with the stories unfolding behind those panes. "Thank you so much for your help today," said Mrs. Harper, the elderly woman who had been watching him from the pavilion. Her eyes sparkled with gratitude. "You've brightened my day more than you know." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth spread through him. "It's my pleasure, really. It's amazing how just a little sunshine can lift everyone's spirits after a rainy day." He couldn't help but think how much he wanted to share this experience with his viewers. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he thought, excited about the memories he could weave into his next video. As he gathered his equipment, he listened to the gentle hum of life returning to its rhythm. Children laughed as they chased each other around the park, their joy infectious. A group of friends sat on a nearby bench, sharing stories and snacks, their laughter ringing out like music. It was moments like these that reminded him of the beautiful tapestry of human experience, each thread vital, each connection meaningful. He remembered how he had felt earlier in the day, navigating the rain-soaked streets, grappling with self-doubt and the burdens of his profession. Now, those worries seemed trivial in the light of community, connection, and purpose. He reflected on how every challenge he faced, every slippery window and gust of wind, had brought him closer to understanding the essence of his work. As he finished packing up, the sun continued to rise higher in the sky, casting long shadows that danced across the pavement. It was a vivid reminder that light always follows the darkness, and the rain had merely been a precursor to something beautiful. This thought resonated deeply within him. Leave a like to help the channel grow, he mused, envisioning the encouragement it would bring as he shared this day's journey. Just then, a young boy approached him, tugging at the hem of his jacket. "Mister, can I help you carry that?" The boy's earnestness melted Alex's heart, reminding him once again of the importance of kindness and connection. "That's very kind of you," Alex replied, handing over a small piece of equipment. "What's your name?" Jake, the boy beamed, his cheeks dimpled with enthusiasm. I like helping people. My mom says it's important. It really is, Jake, Alex said, his heart swelling. You know, just helping someone can change their whole day. He couldn't help but think how he'd incorporate this interaction into his storytelling, emphasizing the lessons learned through simple acts of kindness. Together, they walked towards the van, Jake asking a flurry of questions about window cleaning and the tools involved. Alex shared insights about the importance of seeing the world clearly, both literally and metaphorically. You see, when windows are dirty, it's hard to see what's on the other side, he explained. Just like in life, sometimes we need to clean our perspective to appreciate what's around us. Jake listened intently, his eyes wide with wonder. So, you're like a superhero for windows, he exclaimed. Alex chuckled, the comparison warming him. I suppose you could say that. Every day, I get to help people see the world a little better. It was a simple but profound realization that filled him with a sense of pride. After reaching the van, Jake waved goodbye, his face lit up with joy. Thanks for letting me help. I want to be just like you when I grow up. Keep that spirit alive, Jake. You're going to do great things, Alex called after him, watching as the boy scampered back to his friends. As he climbed into his van, he felt a renewed sense of purpose and belonging. The community around him thrived on shared experiences, and he was an integral part of that mosaic. The rain had washed away more than just dirt, it had washed away his doubts and fears, leaving behind a clarity he hadn't realized he needed. Driving through the now vibrant streets, he marveled at how everything seemed to sparkle. The storefronts gleamed, the parks were alive with laughter, and the air was filled with the promise of a new day. It felt as though the city itself had taken a deep breath and let out a sigh of relief. He recalled his early mornings spent alone, the quiet moments filled with introspection and the weight of his choices. Now, amidst the laughter and chatter, he felt as if he belonged. If you're enjoying this story, hit that like button, he thought, imagining the supportive comments that would follow this heartfelt video. As he drove on, he pondered the stories he would tell, the lives he would touch through his lens. Each window he cleaned represented a moment in time, a snapshot of life that deserved to be seen and shared. He envisioned his audience, connecting with the themes of resilience, community, and the beauty found in the everyday. Arriving at his next location, he parked and took a moment to center himself. He felt a gentle breeze brush against his skin, carrying with it the laughter of children and the buzz of conversations. This was his world, filled with stories waiting to be told, connections waiting to be made. With a smile on his face, he prepared to step out and embrace the next window of opportunity, ready to share the breathtaking moments of life that unfolded before him. Whatever lay ahead, he now knew he had the strength to face it, uplifted by the love and camaraderie of the city that had become his home. As he grabbed his cleaning supplies and stepped out of the van, the sun shone brightly overhead, and he couldn't help but feel that he had found his place in this vibrant world. He was a window cleaner, yes, but more importantly, he was a storyteller, a connector of lives, and a bearer of light. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm, golden light over the city, Alex Rodriguez felt a sense of tranquility wash over him. The rain had finally ceased, leaving behind a glistening sheen on the streets, and the air was filled with the fresh scent of wet pavement. He took a deep breath, savoring the earthy aroma that signified renewal. Each raindrop that had fallen earlier seemed to wash away not only the grime from the windows he had cleaned but also the heaviness that had settled in his heart. Driving through the now vibrant streets, Alex noticed how the city had transformed. Every storefront glimmered, every tree looked greener, and the laughter of children echoed through the parks, mingling with the chirping of birds returning to their perches. It was as if the rain had rejuvenated not just the environment, but also the spirits of everyone around him. The world felt alive, and he felt a part of that life, woven into the fabric of the community he served. Wow, what a day, he muttered to himself, thinking of all the interactions he had experienced. Each person he had met had left an imprint on his heart, reminding him of the connections that made life meaningful. The little girl who had waved at him, the elderly woman who shared her stories, and even the boy who had offered to help. Each encounter added layers to his understanding of humanity. As he parked his van near the community center for his last job, he took a moment to reflect. He had started the day doubting his choices, feeling overwhelmed by the rain and the struggles that came with it. But now, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he thought, imagining how sharing his experiences could resonate with others. Stepping out of the van, he was greeted by a gentle breeze, the kind that promised a beautiful evening. He grabbed his cleaning supplies, feeling the familiar weight of the squeegee in his hand, and headed toward the entrance of the community center. This was a place where people came together, a hub of activity and connection, and he felt privileged to contribute to its upkeep. As he began cleaning the large glass windows of the center, he could see the vibrant colors of the world reflected in the glass. Children played outside, their laughter ringing through the air, while adults chatted animatedly, sharing stories and laughter. It reminded him of the importance of community, of how interconnected lives could be. In that moment, he felt as though he was not just cleaning windows, he was polishing the view of life for everyone inside. While working, he overheard snippets of conversation. An elderly man was sharing tales of his youth, reminiscing about the days when the community center was just a small gathering place. A mother was discussing her hopes and dreams for her children with a friend, her voice filled with warmth and determination. Each word he caught reminded him that everyone had their own struggles and victories, and that brought him solace. He paused for a moment, leaning against the frame of the window, and reflected on his own journey. Being a window cleaner was often seen as a humble profession, but today he understood its significance more than ever. He was a storyteller, a bridge between different lives, and that realization filled him with pride. His work allowed him to witness the world through countless perspectives, each as valuable as the next. As he continued his task, he found himself feeling lighter, buoyed by the connections he had made. A sense of fulfillment washed over him, knowing that his efforts contributed to a brighter space for others. He couldn't help but feel grateful for the moments that had transformed his day, for the laughter that had echoed in the rain, and for the community that had embraced him. With each swipe of the squeegee, he felt a part of something greater, a ripple in the vast ocean of humanity. The joy he derived from his work fueled his spirit, and he couldn't wait to share these moments with others. Leave a like to help the channel grow, he thought, imagining how sharing these stories could inspire others to see the beauty in their own lives. As he finished up the last window, the sun began to break through the clouds, casting a warm glow across the community center. He stepped back to admire his work, the glass now sparkling like a diamond. It was a small victory, but one that meant so much. It reminded him that even in the simplest of tasks, there was beauty to be found. Finally, he packed away his tools and took a moment to soak in the atmosphere around him. Families gathered, sharing meals and laughter, children running freely, and the warmth of human connection enveloping the space. He realized that life was a series of windows, some cloudy, some clear, but each one offered a glimpse into the lives of others. As he walked toward his van, he felt a profound sense of peace. The rain had not only cleansed the city but had also washed away his doubts, leaving behind clarity and purpose. He had learned that each day held the potential for connection, for growth, and for joy, even in the most unexpected circumstances. Driving home, he felt invigorated, his heart full of gratitude. The road before him was illuminated by the setting sun, and he couldn't help but smile. Life was beautiful, and he was grateful to be a part of it. He thought about how sharing this journey with others could inspire them to appreciate their own stories, to find joy in the mundane, and to embrace the connections that life offered. As he pulled into his driveway, he took one last look at the city that had become his canvas. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he reminded himself, eager to continue sharing his experiences. He stepped out of the van, feeling rejuvenated and inspired, ready to embrace whatever tomorrow would bring. In the end, Alex Rodriguez was not just a window cleaner, he was a keeper of stories, a weaver of connections, and a bearer of light. His journey through the rain had brought him clarity, and he was determined to carry that light forward, sharing it with everyone he met along the way.